Allingham with the Weber Bullet. Today we're going to talk about adding charcoal to your Weber Smokey Mountain Cooker partway through the cooking process. Now we've all had this happen. You estimate the amount of fuel you're going to need, you put it into the Smokey Mountain Cooker, you light it up, and as you get toward the end of the cooking process you realize that the temperature's dropping and you don't have enough fuel. What do you do? Well, you're going to have to add more fuel, of course, and there are several ways to do that. The first thing I would recommend to you is that you want to add lit fuel to the cooker. On many occasions I have tried to simply add unlit briquettes, and more often than not that really doesn't work, because by the time you realize that your cooker is running low on fuel, oftentimes it's not really hot enough to easily ignite the brand new briquettes that you put inside. So I'd recommend that you start some additional briquettes in a chimney starter and then add those hot briquettes to the cooker. That's going to get your temperature up as quickly as possible. Now, as for how many briquettes you should light and add, oftentimes I may be an hour short, and if that's the case, I'll light 40 or 50 briquettes. That's about half of a Weber chimney starter full of Kingsford charcoal briquettes. Get those good and hot and then add them to the cooker. If you're cooking for much longer, if you need several hours of additional fuel, then you'll want to add more than that. You might in fact decide to add some unlit charcoal and then add some lit on top. But you'll have to estimate that just based on how long you think you need to continue cooking. So the big question is, how are you going to get this additional fuel into the Weber Smokey Mountain Cooker? You've only got two options. One is through the access door on the side of the middle cooking section, and the other is to lift the entire middle cooking section and lid off the cooker, set it aside so that you can access the charcoal chamber and the charcoal bowl. That is a risky proposition because you're lifting off not only the lid in the middle section, but the two grates and the water pan and whatever's in the water pan, as well as the meat that's on the cooking grates. And so, Weber does not want you to do that. If they did, they would have put handles on the middle cooking section. They and their lawyers, in their infinite wisdom, don't want to encourage this behavior. However, many people do it. I have done it, I admit it, and although I'm not encouraging you to do it, you will notice, if you're paying attention, that there are a number of people who have added handles to the middle cooking section of their Weber Smokey Mountain Cooker to make this maneuver, sometimes called the hot squat, to make this maneuver a bit easier. Whether you decide to do that is up to you, and you accept any risk and responsibility for injury or damage that occurs. The other alternative, though, is to add the fuel through the access door. I recently had opportunity to do that when I was cooking a brisket overnight. I thought I put enough fuel in the cooker, but I guess I didn't, and I got down to about the last hour and a half and my cooker was running low on fuel, and so I needed to MacGyver up a solution. How was I going to get about half of a chimney of charcoal, lit charcoal, into the smoker? So I went out in the garage and I found a piece of cardboard. It was about 24 inches long and about 8 inches wide. And I wrapped it with aluminum foil. And you can see it right here. It's shaped like a V. It's covered completely on the front side, partially on the back side. And I just very quickly inserted this into the access door opening and poured my hot briquettes into the trough and tipped it up and ran them right into the charcoal chamber. Worked very well, and there was no scorching or burning of any kind. So this is like truly a very simple MacGyver solution on how to create sort of a trough that will let you put lit charcoal into the cooker mid-cook through the access door. Now after that cook was over, I wondered if I could make something a little better, if I could MacGyver something a little bit better. So I came up with this little contraption right here. This is a piece of split air duct. I got it at Lowe's for under $5. It has a connection on one end where it fits into another piece of this material. It has a flange on each edge that allows you to pull these two sides together and connect them to make a connected piece of ductwork and turn it into a tube. But it comes separate like this. And let me show you, that's the assembled form of it. This is sort of what it looks like in the store. It's rolled up like this, okay? But it's not connected. And I saw that and I thought, you know, that's like a funnel. That's like a trough that I can put charcoal into. But I need to make it bigger at one end to more easily receive the charcoal and then have it funnel down into the cooker. So I first started by putting some very thick duct tape on this end because the edges of this stuff are kind of sharp. So I want to make sure that when I handle it, I don't cut myself. So that's what this black tape is for. Then I was looking for some way to basically hold this open in kind of a splayed open shape. And I noticed in my closet I had a coat hanger, plastic coat hanger. And it has this little area right here where a lady's blouse or slip, anything that has straps, goes into these little slots right here on this coat hanger. I flipped it upside down and I cut off the hook and I snipped it off just beyond these little niches, and what I was left with is this right here. And these notches sort of fit just perfectly into each edge of this ductwork. It just holds it open like that. Now, it's pretty stable, and I think that when you go to hold it with a gloved hand like that, this is not going to go anywhere. But just to make it a little more stable, I did leave these little notches at the end, and I took a rubber band, actually three rubber bands, strung them together, and just put one end over one notch, bring it underneath, and put it over the other notch. And that puts some downward pressure on this little bridge here to hold it in place, make it a little bit more stable. So this is my more advanced MacGyver charcoal funnel. And as you can see in this video, it does a great job. You simply pour the charcoal into the wide end and tip it up high enough, and the charcoal just funnels its way down into the cooker. And because it's made of aluminum, it's not going to burn. And for $5 and the cost of a coat hanger, I think it's a pretty good solution. Now, if you're handy, you could probably come up with a much better solution than a plastic coat hanger. Maybe you'd use a piece of wood, a wooden dowel, maybe a metal rod of some kind, maybe some clamps. Maybe you would actually flatten these ends so that you could use some binder clips and clip something down to hold it. But I think this works for me. Cheap, easy, quick. It's also something that you can just take apart. If you're going to go put this away, it just pops right off, and you can just toss this in a cabinet somewhere in a storage area in your garage or in your shed. So this is my solution to how to get charcoal into the Weber Smokey Mountain Cooker. Maybe you've got other ideas. If you'd like to share them, go to the Virtual Weber bulletin board at TVWB.com and tell us what you're doing. Or you can also post your comments and your photos, if you have any, on our social media channels on Facebook or Instagram. Well, that concludes this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I appreciate you very much. I thank you for watching. If you would please like and subscribe to my videos, I would appreciate that very much, because it helps give more visibility to them in the almighty algorithm on YouTube that helps people find my YouTube channel. So thank you very much for doing that. Until next time, take care everybody. Bye-bye.